This is a preview of our two-day art and antique sale, which is next Wednesday and Thursday, 22nd and 23rd of August, starting with the main antique sale on the Wednesday. And we'll just have a quick look around the sale room. It's currently being set up, which is why the walls look slightly empty, but by Monday of next week it'll look quite full in here, lots of paintings to go on the wall and some really interesting things to have a look at. So we've had a few interesting house clearances this month, and this clock has come from one of them, which was from a local Hastings house, and it really is a top quality Victorian table clock or mantle clock. It's a carved oak case, so a very golden colour, and it's a very Victorian style of clock, but the movement is absolutely incredible quality in this. So it chimes on 8 bells and I think 6 gongs as well. So it's a musical movement, very nice quality, engraved, silvered and brass mounted dial there. There's no maker's name anywhere on this at all, so I don't know who this was made by. But if we just have a look at the back of it, it's extremely heavy. So we'll just open up the back and have a look inside it. So that's why it's so heavy, because that's all that brass movement in there. So there are the bells at the top and the gongs that it strikes on here as well. And it's all working and fabulous quality thing. Just don't see these very often at all. It's going to be probably sort of 2,000 to 2,500, I think is the estimate of that. But you won't find a better quality clock than that from that sort of period. We'll carry on. Actually, this is nice. This came from another house clearance, another rare thing that we don't see very often. So it's an original George III period wine cooler or cellaret. That's what they call these. So it's flame veneer mahogany, nice original condition. It's on a separate stand. It's stuck in there at the moment, but it does easily lift out so that you can carry it around the house, or the servants can go and get the wine. It's got the original zinc-lined interior with the original partitions. Again, that's a rare thing to find. And these brass bands. And that's good, isn't it? You often see them, well, when you do see them, they're generally either circular or hexagonal, but haven't seen an oval one like that before. I think the estimate is sort of 5 to 700. Could be 1,000 or so, that one, quite easily. Let's have a look around a bit further. 2 Georgian chest-on chests here for about £400 or £500 each, something like that. Got a Gibson Les Paul electric guitar, quite modern that one, with a Fender amplifier as well. Just shows that even though it's an antique sale, they're not all antiques. But that, I think I've had more people that have come into the sale room over the past fortnight, dropping things off for sale, that have said, oh my goodness, is that in the sale? Just so excited that there's a Fender guitar in this, or not a Fender, but a Gibson guitar in sale. So that's in next week. Go past this painting, a very good quality portrait of 2 gun dogs by Jewellery. It was painted in 1889 and it's absolutely immaculate. It's a beautiful painting, that. And if you wanted a spectacular painting for the wall, that one is going to be £3,000 or £4,000. Another interesting thing in this sale is this collection of First World War Army recruitment posters that again we found in a local house we were clearing. So quite a lot of paintings from this house, but tucked in a folder was this whole lot here, and they're all original. They're right at the beginning of the First World War, when they were really trying to encourage people to enlist, partly through making you feel guilty if you didn't join up. How are you going to feel if you don't join up and you see other men serving? Partly through revenge. So this is the one after the sinking of the Lusitania, cold-blooded murder. These crimes against God and man are committed to make you afraid of these German barbarians. Enlist today. Or this one, surely you will fight for your king and country. Come along, boys, before it's too late. Questions to men who have not enlisted. What will you say in years to come when people ask you, where did you serve in the Great War? When your children grow up and say, Father, why weren't you a soldier too? Horrendous, isn't it, when you look with hindsight at the way these people were pushed into joining up. Remember the Lusitania. It's your duty to take up the sword of justice to avenge the devil's work. All printed in 1914, 1915 to the women of Great Britain. Look at that. Do you realise that the one word go from you may send another man to fight for our king and country? So these are all here without reserve. They're all sold individually, that collection, and I think realistically they're going to make £100 to £150 each, something like that, which doesn't seem a great deal of money really. They've got to be framed up obviously, but I think that's what an interesting thing to have on the wall. Lots of guns in this sale. So the 19th century ones are flintlock and percussion rifles that are really just wall ornaments. The more modern ones, such as this AK assault rifle, have been deactivated, so they have their deactivation certificate, which you have to have these days to sell these. So that makes those legal to sell, so that's interesting. And there's some interesting swords over there as well. 19th century cavalry swords and Japanese sword here. And this is a Hungarian sword with a photo of the man who wore it. And some 19th century flintlock pistols over there as well. There's quite a few of these in this time. And then a bit further down the table, this is nice. So this is a book by, well, the words by A.A. Milne, decorations by E.H. Shepherd, and there are only 100 copies of this printed, and inside the cover it's signed by all three. It says number 56 of 100 in 1925, signed by Ernest Shepherd and A.A. Milne. That's quite interesting, isn't it? They don't come up for sale very often for obvious reasons. There's only 100 of them, and that's £500 or £600, I suppose, for that very rare book. And another rare book here by Rossetti Poems, a vellum-bound book. It's another sort of £500 or so. We'll keep going down here. These are Victorian library steps that fold up. They fold up into a rod like that for reaching the top shelf in your library, if you have one. And then we carry on down here. Just have a look through these front cabinets. There's all sorts in here, some lovely things, lovely paintings as well this time. This is a 19th century scene of Hastings. So this is a view across Hastings seafront from the White Rock. It's not signed, but it's a very finely painted study. This was brought up to us to sell from a gentleman in Exeter who thought that it should come back to this part of the world. So that's where it's ending up in this sale. So that one again should be about £1,000, I think. Beautifully painted, that one. And we carry on. We've got a lovely Atmos clock here. It's very modern, so they still make these, and you can see it ticking along happily, and it's still telling the right time as well. I set that about an hour ago and it's still telling the time, so that's good. This was, I think it's 2009 this was bought new, so we've got the original box for it as well, and instructions over here. Not sure what they cost new, but the estimate is sort of 300 to 500, but I think that could be a bit more, that one. Next to it, a very stylish Art Nouveau 4-piece silver tea set. Isn't that lovely? The style of that. So it's solid silver. It's about 1919, I think, or 1920. And there's the hot water jug. A lovely set that. Should be sort of 500 to 700 for that set, which is the value of the silver actually, ironically. More silver here. So this beautiful basket here, and a set of 4 matching side baskets. Now what about that for the middle of the dining table, with 4 of those going down the table as well, and they're lovely heavy gauge silver. They're only 1960s, but very good quality and hallmarked silver. Again, there's a lot of weight in the silver in there. That set going to be 600 to 800, I suppose. Interesting Scandinavian silver jug there. Again, very stylish. Probably 1920s or 30s. This German porcelain plaque, which is 19th century. There's no factory mark, so I don't know which factory that came from, but it's in immaculate condition, and that is all hand painted. Extremely detailed. That should be 300 to 400 for that one. Pairs of candelabra, these are solid silver, and more candelabra here. So there's one large central one and a pair of smaller ones that all match, and they should be 600 to 800 for that set. Some beautiful silver. These came from a private house that we cleared. So this is Bohemian overlay glass, and this is absolutely top quality 19th century continental glass here. This is all hand painted, so it doesn't matter how close you get, that is absolutely microscopic detail, and even the gilded background is painted and textured, and as usual it's slightly rubbed on the gilding here where people have handled it, and slightly rubbed on the top. And usually these have somewhere they have chips or little sections missing, but I can't see anything wrong with that at all apart from that rub gilding. That's beautiful. And that really should make a good amount of money. The estimate is sort of 300 to 500, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was 1,000 plus really. And from the same house, that pair of Bohemian overlay glass vases there with hand painted panels, children there, and on the other side painted with flowers. And again, they're undamaged. Very nice pair of vases there. Same estimate, but again, they could fly those, hopefully. Beautiful study of a sheep right next to it there, which is either late 18th or early 19th century, but I think that's fascinating. That could be a good artist as well. It's not signed, but it's completely untouched condition. It's painted on a mill board, which is sort of a textured type of artist board. So that could do quite well. What else have we got here? Lots of interesting things. I'll just have a look at some of the bits of jewellery we've got this time. There's some lovely jewellery here. We've just assembled a few of the more interesting things on this pad here. So we've got a diamond ring here. So this fancy brown coloured diamond is over 4 carats. So there's just over 5 carats of diamonds in total in that ring. But that middle one is 4 carats. Incredible, isn't it? Good sized stone there. That one we're expecting sort of 6,000 to 8,000 for that one. This is a 1.5 carat central diamond in that ring, which is very nice. Nice clear stone as well, in good condition. That one should be probably about 1,500 to 2,000, something like that. Another 1 carat diamond ring here, and this one is 1.5 carats in total of diamonds. And this one here, these are both sapphires in the centre of this ring. So a pink and a blue sapphire surrounded by diamonds. Lovely cocktail ring there. That's I think the insurance valuation is about 7,000 when it was last done. I think it would probably be slightly higher than that now, and that's going to be probably 1,500 to 2,000 at least, I should think. And then this Victorian Memento Mori'ring, which has an ivory panel in the centre with a little painted skull in the middle, pearls around the outside edge, and there's an inscription on the back of this. So these were worn as memorial rings, and that should be 200 or 300 at least. Very collectible jewellery there. This is a Victorian gold and turquoise snake bangle, and these 18 karat gold bangles are by Tiffany, and they're in nice condition. They came from a local house we cleared. They should be several £100s. And this is interesting. This is the first lot of the jewellery in this sale. This is by Liberty, and it's very stylish, Art Deco or sort of 1920 period pendant there with white enamel. It's all in gold, and these green stones we think are probably cries of praise. And next to it, this pair of Victorian ivory earrings. Can't imagine anyone actually walking down the street wearing these, but beautifully carved, aren't they, with a matching, what's that, a brooch? Pendant, I should think. Wants to go on a chain. That's a nice little set, isn't it? There should be 200 or 300 pounds maybe. Some nice watches as usual. This is an IWC vintage watch here. It should be sort of 700 or 800 pounds. And this Rolex, classic style of Rolex here, which is an oyster and it has the pie pan edge to the dial, which is quite a collectible sort of style, and in its box and papers and everything, and that's all in nice condition, so that should be 1500 to 2000 at least. And loads of things in all these cabinets here, so there's so much to have a look through, and it's all illustrated on the website now, so you can browse through the whole lot online and see what's in the sale. Well, that's a magnificent thing. So this is a carriage clock, which are generally quite unfashionable things, but this is quite new, probably only 10 or 15 years old, but look at that movement inside there. Just so much of that complicated mechanism, and it strikes on a gong as well. Amazing, isn't it? When that was new, when it was about 10 years ago, that was about £1,500. I think the estimate is going to be about 300 to 400, something like that. So, what else have we got? Very interesting collection of paintings this time. We saw some of the ones earlier, but we've got about the first 50 lots in the picture sale on the Thursday sale are all from a local private house. So these were all stacked up in their back room, and mostly sort of 19th century paintings. Some quite interesting ones. Just have a quick glance at these. Classic Victorian art there by Matthias Robinson, and that's called Court. So there's a chap peering around the doorway here, just catching his wife, or maybe they're together. He's caught his husband, but that's in this sale. That's from the same house as well. Old master crucifixion scene and a military shooting range scene up here. Don't often find things like this in private houses anymore, but that's quite an interesting lot of stuff to deal with here. And so that's all next Wednesday and Thursday. It's all online now, so you can have a look through the whole sale on the internet. Every lot is illustrated, and you can bid live as well from the website. So please have a look through. The viewing is on Monday from 9 till 5, Tuesday from 9 till 7, and on the morning of the sale as well. And the sale starts at 10 in the morning, goes on all day. Pictures on Thursday. Thank you very much.